Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Cash, and today we are on a short stream, short flight over from um, Trinidad over to Tobago in the 737-800. We're flying the Caribbean Airlines delivery. Just about completed our pre-flight checks, including our weather system test, our fire system test, our GPWS test, and other info systems. We're doing our lights test. Already done our lights test, and we are pretty much just ready to get off and go flying. The stream that pretty much I'm doing, not feeling well, but um, no, after I came back from the doctor, I was like, okay, well, no, nothing else to do. A little bit bored. Don't really like to sit there idly. We're just gonna go ahead and pop this flight in as we are just doing just a short flight here. So cruise altitude just changed to 3,000 feet. This is fine. And we're just doing our perf in it. So we're just going to go ahead and plan our performance for our departure here. We're departing runway 10, elevation of 7 feet, runway slope is 0. We're going to import the information from the aircraft. Anti-ice is off, AC is on. That's our weights. We're going to import our weather, and then we're just going to go ahead and calculate this. Departure today is going to be takeoff 2 on the Rayton N1 91%, so select temp 37. So takeoff 2 for the rate and 37 for the temperature. So that way we don't overstress our engines here. Turn off the weather radar test because it was completed. Let's go to our takeoff. Flaps for takeoff today is flaps 5. CFG is checked, set. Gonna select our runway wind, which is 3406 knots. All right, 340 at 6. Runway slope is 0, pretty flat. And our boarding is completed already, which is pretty quick. We're gonna go ahead and start up our APU. APU started. All right, let's go ahead, and there's our V-speeds. We're gonna enter that. Once we select our flaps, this is gonna be erased again, and we're gonna have to load it in again, but that's fine. So we're gonna go ahead. Our flight directors are going on our captain side, FO side. We're just gonna go ahead and select our airspeed here. We're gonna switch it up to 190 knots for that departure. Our altitude is set. We're gonna bring that down to about 3,000 feet, as 3,000 is our altitude that we're going. Auto brake is set to RTO, and our APU is starting up, as you see right here. All right, as the APU gets started up, let's go ahead and switch off the engine bleeds, and we're going to turn on the APU bleed. APU is on. We're going to go ahead and switch on the APU generators. Going to go ahead and switch our bleed isolation valve into auto. We're going to go ahead and turn this is going to remain on at this time. So we're going to go ahead and call for pushback, seeing that we have been completed, and we're going to push back now. And this is going to be a pretty short flight, so it's going to be at least about 10 minutes in total. Now that we're all ready to go, we're going to go ahead and switch on our anti-collision light, or our red beacon, to indicate that we are ready to start up our engines and to have everyone clear the aircraft. Right now we are just waiting for the wing walkers to go out and get their position. The lead push guy here, or the lead ramp agent, is going to go ahead and put in the pin, and then we're going to have our pushback vehicle come out and push us back right now. Today, our expected arrival is the RNAV 11 arrival into Scarborough in Tobago. Winds are pretty interesting. We just got 2 knots and 5 knots of headwind as we get in. The minimums for today is 340 knots. There they go, lifting the aircraft at this time. I've already completed our push, our walk around and all those good stuff, so we don't need to be outside to do any of those things. And we're just going to go ahead and wait for us to complete our pushback. So our nose is going to go to the right as we taxi out. All right, they are supposed to remove the chocks, but it looks like they're not going to do so, so we're going to have to do that ourselves. And we're going to switch on our park and brake right now. Brakes are off. All right, we'll be starting engine 2. All right, let's go ahead. Packs are going off. Engine 2 started. All right, we're going to be looking for our rotation here on our N1. And once that starts rotating, we should be able to get going. All right, we do have rotation. There we go, indication. We're just going to go ahead and switch our fuel on. Then Walker doing his job right there. Our brakes are set, and we're going to go ahead and start engine 1. We're going to wait for N1 rotation. All right, we have N1 rotation at this time. We're going to go ahead and fuel on. All right, and we're all good for that. We're going to go ahead and get our flaps in. All right, we're going to go ahead and put flaps 5. 1, 2, flaps 5. All right, and off they go for them to get back to their station. We're going to wait for them to leave. Right now that our engines are started, we're going to go ahead and switch our generators to on, our APU to off. Switch back on our engine bleeds, and we're going to go ahead and switch the packs back on. Leave this one to auto. Fuel pumps are all good, set on. We're going to go ahead and switch to LNAV and VNAV for our climb out today. We're going to go ahead and switch our TCAS to on. TCAS is set TA only. And weather is set tilt above, 4 up. All right, we're prepped for departure right now. We're going to go ahead and start our taxi. Runway turn off and taxi lights are set to on. And we are ready for a taxi. Here we go. Again, this is going to be a pretty short flight, about 74 nautical miles. This is a daily trip that Caribbean Airlines does. And we are about to do it just because we're going to get bonus points for the leg itself for today from our VA. We're going over right here, and then we're going to keep taxiing downway. And weather out here in Trinidad today, we do have temporary showers and some temporary weather cells around. We'll keep an eye out on our weather radar, but for now I don't see anything that is going to significantly affect our flight for today. Heading into Tobago. Again, it's about 54 to 74 nautical miles. We've made it shorter by just doing the departure and the arrival all on one route. And as soon as we take off, we're going to be up to 3,000 feet, where we are then going to be entering the arrival. So here we go. We're approaching the runway. We're going to cross the runway right here, and then we're going to go over to the rest of the taxiway.
0.
We have no traffic on final, and we're going to turn right here where we will taxi all the way up to the end of the runway for our departure today. From where we were, it is gonna be a pretty short taxi from here, but from where we were, it was a little bit of a ways to go over there. There's a Saab 340 to our left there, parked at the hangars here in Trinidad. I'm guessing that's the Trinidadian Air Force. There's the Caribbean Airlines hangar right there with some of our aircrafts that are parked outside. It looks like they are getting some maintenance done. Our aircraft is perfectly fine, pretty much brand new, and we're going to be taking it out to Scarborough today. And here we come up on lining up on the run. We're going to go ahead and turn our line and lights to on. We're going to switch our engines mode to continuous, and we're going to turn on our strobe lights.
10.
All right, as we line up, we're going to go ahead and run through our checklist. Our flaps are 5 set and selected. Our departure, we're on VNAV, no LNAV. We're climbing up to 5,000 feet initial, 3,000 feet initially.
On runway 10.
All right, here we go, ready to go.
On runway 10. On runway 10.
So about that, we were on a quick call there. We're going to go ahead. Flaps are going up as we climb out of Trinidad. All right, we're going to go ahead, auto brake to off, and then we're putting our landing gear to off at this time. As we climb up to 3,000 feet, we're going to be avoiding most of the terrain out there. All right, flaps fully up. We're going to go ahead and turn off our taxi light. We're going to switch back to off out of continuous. 1,000 to go. All right, we're going to be climbing up to at least 7,000 at this time. We should be able to get up to 7,000. Altitude intervention, and here we go, we're climbing. Altimeters are going to standard as we climb out. Minimums today is 340 feet. We're going to go ahead and set that right now. All right, minimums are set 340 feet. All right, we're at cruise altitude right now, and we are just settling in for the flight. It's just going to be pretty short, and we're going to be descending shortly. Going to set our descent altitude to 3,000 feet. And here we come up to top of descent. We're going to start descend. We're descending currently. All right, there is Scarborough at this time. That's Tobago. As we go ahead and set auto brake. Auto brake is going to be set to auto brake 2 for this landing, as necessary for the 737-8NG. Having a little bit of microphone issues there. Hopefully it's fixed. Our transition altitude is set again, 1010 on hectopascals, and we are heading down into Scarborough or Tobago. Right now we're descending. I just got a call again, bother some people, but it's fine. We're just continuing our descent. I think we should be able to see just barely the runway out there, the runway lights. We're established on the RNAV and we're descending through for this landing.
2500.
All right. All right, gear going down. And we're going to go ahead and switch on our runway turn off and our taxi lights. We're going to switch our engine mode to continuous. And here we go. We're offset 146. Flaps 30 is what we're selecting. Do have a headwind there, 11 knots. Or flaps 25, or flaps 15, sorry. Come flaps 25, and then flaps 30. Landing checklist, landing gear down and lock 3, green flaps select 30. Auto brake set to 2, landing checklist is complete. So we have the runway in sight. Autopilot off. And we're going to switch off our auto throttles now.
500. Plus 100. 400.
Approaching 1, 1.
Minimums. 200. 100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Feet remaining.
Hey Momo, what's going on?
2,000 remaining.
Rightio. So now we're going to turn off here and head into the terminal area where we're going to go ahead and do a turnaround and head back over to Trinidad.
On runway 11. 1,600 feet remaining. On runway 29.
Momo, this is Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. And looks like our dispatcher provided us with stand 2 for parking. Via taxiway Alpha, proceed main apron stand 2. All right, there's our main apron here, and we're stand 2, so we're going to be taxiing off the runway and getting up to stand 2. All right, handling by Caribbean Airlines. There's our stand right ahead. We're going to go flaps up now. Let's go turn off our landing lights. We're going to switch on our APU generators. And we're going to go ahead and turn off our strobe lights as we turn in. And there's our gate coming up to the right there. All right, they're going to guide us in. They want us to go a little bit left there. And they're just pulling us in nice and slow. Nice and slow as we roll in. All right, parking. Parking brake is set. We're going to go ahead and switch off our taxi lights right now. And we're going to go ahead and shut our engines down. APU bleed to on, and we're going to switch off our engine bleeds. Pretty good on the parking, and there they go. They're dancing away. We did perfect parking. Requesting deboarding right now, and we're going to go ahead and switch our anti-collision light to off. It's already off. And we're all set. Right here, they come with the steers right now. They're going to go ahead and put the steers in, and then we're going to go ahead and get ready to disembark the aircraft. So guys, welcome to Tobago, or Scarborough as they say it out in Trinidad. Beautiful weather as we arrived. Wind was about 9 knots off our nose upon landing. Did a little bump or a bounce landing, but a landing nonetheless. We're able to get all the way down to the end of the runway, turn around, and then we'll come back up to stand number 2. Shut our engines down, and we're going to go ahead and do a walk around once it's safe to do so. All right, the boarding has started. Going to set our wheel chocks, and we're going to request our ground power here today. Yeah, Momo, this is the PMDG 737-800NG. Pretty amazing aircraft, if I do say so myself. Right, ground power is connected. We're going to go ahead and switch ground power to on and shut down our APU at this time. We're going to go ahead and do our walk around. All right, there goes our passengers leaving the aircraft. This, if you want to know, this is Ground Services X or GSX. Um, it's an add-on that you can purchase for Microsoft Flight Simulator as well. All right, doing our walk around, we're checking our radome, ensuring that everything is okay, and we're going to head over to the nose gear. Nose gear looks good, no leaks. I don't see any damages to the nose gear, no damage to the tires. And our probes do look okay. Checking the AOA vanes, it looks good. Taking a look at our engines. Our engine cowling still looks beautiful. Engine looks good. Did not ingest any birds. Did not hit any birds, any hail or anything like that. And the aircraft looks to be in tip-top shape. Taking a look at our brakes here, which is going to be these pins here. These are brake wear indicators. It shows you the level of brakes that you do have. Once it goes all the way down, you're going to need to change it. I change it every time it hits about right here. All right, our tail skid plate. Looks like we did not have any tail strikes. If we did have a tail strike, just this would have been scratched off. That's the first thing to go after doing a tail strike. All right, so our walk around is complete. The aircraft looks beautiful. Right, this is going to be it for this flight. I hope you guys did enjoy the takeoff, approach and landing, and I'm going to go ahead and hop off so I can go ahead and take some rest. Starting to feel a little bit out of it. Was going to do a return flight, but I'm going to go ahead and grab some rest while I still do get to have the chance. Hope you guys join us for the next flight whenever we are online again. Most likely it's going to be our flight from Heathrow down to JFK in the A321. It's been a while since I've done a flight with JetBlue, but we're going to be doing that most likely tomorrow morning. It's going to be a 7-hour flight over water, so it's going to be a pretty interesting one. So you guys will be able to see how we manage the aircraft as we fly over the Atlantic, what preparations we do make, and what other contingencies we have in place for this. Well, again, have a great day, guys. Thank you so much for joining, and I am out.